triangle, or is one side too short? So the triangle inequality says if you take 3 straws, this is just an example. If you take 3 straws of lengths 8 inches, 5 inches, and 1 inch, and try to make a triangle with them, you will find that it is not possible. Okay, so your sides of your triangle won't connect. Okay, so you might have something that looks like this. Okay, your one side would be too short, or they won't connect together. Okay, so the triangle inequality theorem says the sum of the lengths of any 2 sides of a triangle must be greater than the length of the third side. Okay, so if I add 2 of my sides together, A and B, that sum has to be greater than that third side, C. Okay, same thing if I add B and C together. Okay, so if I add those 2 sides together, that sum has to be greater than that third side A. Okay, and last example, A and C, if I add those 2 sides together, that sum has to be greater than the length of side B. Okay, so the measures of 2 sides of a triangle are 5 and 8. Okay, we want to find the range for the length of the third side. Okay, so by the triangle inequality theorem, all 3 of the following inequalities must be true. Okay, so x is that third side, 5 and 8 are the 2 sides that you are given. So I want to get x by itself in each of these cases. So to get x by itself here, I'm just going to subtract 5. So I have my larger side minus my smaller. So I have x is greater than 3. For this one, getting x by itself, we would subtract 8. So I have my smaller side minus my larger. So x is greater than negative 3. And then I have my 2 sides added together. So 8 plus 5 is 13. And that's greater than x. So I can rewrite this last one. If I read it backwards, this says x is less than 13. Okay, so if I switch that order, I have to flip that sign. So now I'm going to plot each of these on a number line. So I'm going to put 0 in the same spot on each. Okay, so 0's right here. So this first one, I have my x values are greater than 3. Okay, so 3 is greater than 0, so I'm going to plot 3 here. And since my x values have to be greater than that, that means they're going to the right. Okay, so I need my values to the right of 3. For the second one, I have a point at negative 3. So that's over here to the left of 0. And my x values have to, again, be greater than that. So my values greater than negative 3 are to the right. The last one, x is less than 13. Okay, we'll put 13 over here. Because it's also greater than 3, right? Now my x values have to be less than that. Okay, values less than 13 are going to be towards the left. So what I'm doing here is seeing where I have that overlap of my shading. Okay, where all 3 of those lines overlap. Okay, that would be at 3, right? And at 13. Okay, so you can see that shading in all 3 of those lines. If I go greater than 13, it's only in 2. If I go less than 3, it's only in 2. Okay, so I'm looking for that combined area there. So that means x must be between 3 and 13. Okay, so that side length of that triangle has to be between 3 and 13. Now, how did I get 3? Where did I get 3 from? Up here. The first one, right? I took my 2 sides that I knew, and I subtracted them to get my lower bound value. How did I get 13? I added 8 and 5. So I took the two values that I was given and then I added them. Okay, that gives you your upper bound value. Okay, so to get your lower bound in your range, you're going to subtract the two values you're given. To get your upper bound for your range, you're going to add together those values. Okay? We'll do more examples of that on the back. Questions before I continue? All right. Then on the bottom, okay, we want to state if it is possible to form a triangle with the given side lengths. So this is where we're using that theorem that I went through at the top. So we're going to take two sides, add them together, and make sure they're bigger than the third side. Okay, so if I take two sides, we'll take 3 and 4. We want to add them together. They have to be greater than the third side, which is 6. Okay, 3 plus 4 is 7. Is 7 greater than 6? Yes. Okay, let's take another two sides. So I just did 3 and 4. Let's do 4 and 6. It has to be greater than that third side. Okay, 4 plus 6 is 10. Is 10 greater than 3? Yes. Okay, we have one more. So I've added together 3 and 4. I've added together 4 and 6. I have to add together 3 and 6. And it has to be bigger than that third side of 4. Okay, that is 9. Is 9 greater than 4? Yes. So since these are true, I can say, yes, these do form a triangle. Now, you don't need to do all 3 of those cases for each problem. The only one that you have to check is your two smallest sides. Okay, if your two smallest sides add together and are bigger than that third side, then it does form a triangle. Okay, so in number 2, my two smallest sides are 6 and 9. Okay, those are the ones I want to add together and see if they're greater than the third side. Okay, so 6 plus 9 greater than 15. Well, 6 plus 9 is 15. Is 15 greater than 15? No. Okay, so these would not form a triangle. So we would say no. Since 15 is not greater than itself. Okay, 15 is not greater than itself. So no, they do not form that triangle. Okay, so again, to figure this out, take your two smallest lengths. Okay, two smallest lengths, add them together, see if they are greater than that third side. Try the next 4. If they're the same, you can just pick 2, add them together, and see if it's greater than the third side. Next 4 problems. These don't make triangles. Yep. Yep.
Just don't whiskey night out. What? Whiskey in the box, right?
Oh God, don't.
Eight, 16, 8.
Yep.
Probably just gonna call you.
Yeah.
Ryan. I feel like I'm a wrecking ball.
Sarah, stop.
Oh,
Sorry.
4.2.
I'm gonna put a shock collar on yours.
Made it look like.
All right, I want to start going through these. So number 3, since all 3 of those are the same, you just have to pick 2. So we have 8 plus 8 is greater than 8. Okay, that will be 16 greater than 8. That is true. So yes, these do form a triangle. Number 4, my 2 smaller sides are 2 and 4. So I would have to add those together and make sure they're greater than that third side of 5. Okay, so 2 plus 4 is 6. And 6 is greater than 5. So yes, these do form a triangle. Okay, so again, just your 2 smaller sides added together, greater than your third. Number 5, our smallest sides are 4 and 8. So add 4 and 8. They have to be greater than your largest side, which is 16. Okay, 4 and 8 is 12. 12 is not greater than 16. So this is no. Since 12 is less than 16. Okay, then the last one, our 2 smallest sides are 1.5 and 2.5. So we want to add those together. Has to be greater than 3. Okay, that is 4. Okay, 4 is greater than 3. So yes, these do form a triangle. Okay, questions? Does that make sense? Yes? All right, last side here. So this is kind of what we did on the front with the number lines, except you don't have to use the number lines. So we want to find the range for the measure of the third side of a triangle given the measures of the other 2 sides. Okay, so like I said on the front, to get your lower bound of 3, we subtracted the 2 sides we were given. To get our upper bound of 13, we added the 2 sides we were given. Okay, so in number 7, if I'm given 1 and 6, to find the lowest possible value this could be, I just need to subtract those 2. So 6 minus 1 is 5 centimeters. To find our upper bound or the highest value that this side length could be, I just need to add my 2 sides together. That is 7 centimeters. Please make sure you're labeling, okay? Both of those sides were given in centimeters. They should be labeled in centimeters. Okay, we'll do one more here. So we have a side length of 12 yards and 18 yards. Okay, so to find our lower bound, find our lower bound, we just subtract the 2. So we have 18 minus 12 to get 6 yards. To find our upper bound value side, we just add together our 2 lengths. And again, don't forget to label. Okay, make sure you label. I was given those sides in yards, so these ones should also be in yards. Okay, do 9 and 10.
Are you serious? You think it's
Otherwise, I think Mrs. Dobbins All right, quiet quickly here, please. Okay, for number 9, your lower bound should be 4 feet.
Guys, she said quiet for a reason.
Your upper bound should be 7 feet. For number 10, your lower bound should be 74 meters. And your upper bound is 90 meters. Okay, questions on finding the range?